There are stories that connect us to ourselves and to each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. Now, exclusively on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, your hosts, AJ and Natalie.
Hello, Wanderers. I am AJ.
And I am Natalie.
And we are your very fortunate hosts to be here with you every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We are so delighted to be here as always. You know, this week has been heavy. We can talk about that, but I'm just so giddy to be here. Is like, oh, but I have a show this week. I have something to look forward to. An hour of wandering with Natalie and the Wanderers, and it just fills my heart with so much joy. So thank you to all of you who are showing up and hanging out with us. We are live on kgradb.com. If you want to hang out on the chat platform there, go to live.kgradb.com. We're also hanging out on KGRA Digital Broadcasting Facebook and Rumble pages, and X. And we have our own YouTube channel now. So you can find us at Soul Wanderings. Wherever you are hanging out, thank you for being here. Thank you for wandering with us and this evening. With us and us, all of us this evening. I told you. The energy is a lot right now. Okay, it's affecting me, Miss Energy Sensitive. Okay, but it's not an excuse. It is wild though. Let me do a little housekeeping, little announcements really quick. Because our YouTube is new, if you guys will share with your friends, we'd really appreciate it. We would like to get some energy over in that direction as well. And before you leave us tonight, we are wondering how you guys would like it if we do an after the show conversation on YouTube, where we end up opening the room for expanding the topic of conversation that we had, or for Q&A, or any topics really. Everyone give an emoji or say yes in the chat room that you're hanging out in, and let us know how you would like that on occasion. And if we get enough of you thinking that would be fun, we will begin doing that on nights where you're more active in the chat room or asking us to stay, like last week. When we were done with the show, I was like, but I don't want to be done. There were so many people in the chat room, and I really wanted to just hang out with all of them. And the show was over, and everybody went away. And I was like, well, that's a bummer. It was like a hi, and then hello.
And then we're done.
Yeah, and then we're done. So please, if you're interested in that, let us know. Also, if you have a topic of conversation that you would like us to discuss, send us an email at connect@soulwanderings.com, or you message us on any of the platforms that you're following us on. And if you're wondering what those platforms are, go to soulwanderings.com. And you can just click on all the little icons. Also, if you guys are at soulwanderings.com, Natalie and I updated our bios. Go learn about us. Learn more about us. All right.
Expose ourselves a little bit more. Tell her a little more about ourselves.
We definitely did. And I really think, because we are such an authentic show, it was not only important but necessary to do so. So tonight we have the topic of karma. And every time I hear karma, and I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but she talks about karma. She has a song, I think, named Karma, and it plays in my head every time. And I'm like, I need to make up my own song about karma because I don't want that energy of karma. I don't know. I don't know what she's drinking or whatever she's doing, but I don't want it. And we're going to talk about karma, what it means to Natalie, what it means to you. I don't know, maybe me in general, spiritually, energetically, all of this stuff. So, do you believe in karma, Natalie?
Well, you think of the Taylor Swift song, and of course I have, our listeners probably know by now, definitely have a thing with cats, but I have a cat named Karma.
Yes.
And so I definitely think about her. But yes, I actually do believe in karma. And I would say even more than that, I feel like the more that my awareness has grown and my spiritual journey has progressed, I think I've come to understand karma in the deeper energetic way. And so that's part of what I want to bring into this conversation tonight, is how that the karma with the concept of karma is action. Karma is force. And it's not this whole punishment thing that a lot of times people think that's like, well, I've just got to live out my bad karma. Well, maybe it's some of that too, of where we perhaps need to make up for some previous energetic things that we did. But even within our own lifetime, we may end up doing that, where we have to turn off some of what we put out that's coming back to us. That's a cycle. But I find the universe is a loving, benevolent force, if that's what we are doing as well. With the old, I don't know that this is really a karmic thing, but there's the saying that definitely runs around, like in the Wicca circles, that say, "Ever mind the rule of three. What you have put out comes back to thee 3 times."
There is that. I've heard that actually. And also, I'm really on the fence when it comes to cleaning up karma from past lives. Like, I just don't know. I would like to talk about that, but I think it's funny. They're asking you if you're a Swiftie.
I am not. I don't even know that song. I can't say that I even really know any of her songs. So I'm not a Swiftie at all. She's not all enough. I'm a very much an alternative rock. That's my preferred genre. And so she doesn't fit in that.
No. I'll keep my comments to myself. I'm a conspiracy theorist after all, so I'm told. Okay, but back to karma. Just right away, we have a question from long time, from the beginning, I should say, listener Charles. Is karma just energy dependent on how you apply it?
So I was listening to a person today that was talking about, it wasn't exactly, he actually was talking about karma. And what he was talking about is our personal vibration, the way that our personal energy vibrates, that pushes out into the world, and it causes these ripple effects. And the ripple effects are the karmic energy field that we have. And those ripple effects will bounce back. And there'll be times that those will, perhaps we want to use it like a sticky if we're pushing out things that would be sticky sort of energy, then they get stuck in our energy field as well, or they come back and bounce onto us. And so, in that way, it is very much to do with energy and vibration. And so as we up our own personal frequency, we clear up our energy, we're mindful, more aware, conscious in what we're doing,
Mhm.
then we're not having as many negative things that come back around. So it's, if you have the awareness that if you are doing things with intention, he was also bringing in different like people that will do magic or work from a very denser vibration. And if you work from those denser vibrations, of course, you're going to have, that's going to be the frequency you carry.
Mhm.
So it just, whatever we put out comes back to us. And if we want to say comes back to us as far as points of attraction, this law of attraction that said that you're going to attract the frequency that you hold. And if you want to hold a higher frequency, you have to practicing it so that it becomes a sort of energetic muscle memory for you to hold it. So if you want to improve your life, you have to be able to hold to that frequency of improvement on a regular and consistent basis to then keep in that vibration zone.
Mm.
And that's the way I see karma works. Not this punitive sort of punishment thing. It's just like, if you want to have better karma, you got to raise your frequency and your vibration and maintain it. And I know you and I have both seen this throughout our workings and helping with people that say, well, you can come to an energy healer, and an energy healer will help, clean that up a little bit. But if the person maintains the same behavioral patterns, energetic, the way that they hold their energy and the way that they live in their life and the things that they say and the
Mhm.
thoughts that they hold, and all of those things go towards our energy field. And if we're holding that and that's your habit, then you're going to keep having, if when you do the same thing over and over again, you have those same results.
Mm.
And that's part of what my take for karma is, based on that perspective.
Mhm.
What about you?
Well, you say we've seen it in the work that we do with the clients that we work with. Yes, that's true. But also, I just know from my own experience, I've lived many lives, right? We're human and we don't know a lot of things, and we don't know things at all until we know them. And so just not even knowing about the frequency or the vibration of the energy years and years ago, like obviously my life was a lot more heavy, and I was having a lot of things take place that may or may not have been in my control. But they were there, and I was experiencing them. And, you know, people can say karma is a bitch. You hear that all the time. And that's just something that you hear like growing up or in circles, but you like, does it have to be like, is it really? And also when it is like, you get the opportunity to learn more and experience more from it. So um but going back to what I believe karma is, I mean, it's definitely everything that you've said. It's the energy you put out, the energy you receive in return, and it can show up in different ways for different people and supposedly in different lifetimes. And so we can't always know or predict how, I should say, when it will appear. And so just understanding that concept, what you do can come back to you, can help you act accordingly from a place of alignment with yourself and with others. And I don't, we don't know really anything. At the end of the day, like everything we talk about is a thought, an opinion, a theory. Nobody knows anything. We're just here doing the best we can and learning and making a lot of assumptions. Nobody really knows if karma is real, but I like to work from a place that it is, because it helps keep me in check. right? Like I want to do good, not just because I'll receive good, but it feels good to put that good energy out into the world, however that looks like. Not just for me, but for people around me. But the reward of that is like a bonus. Like what I put out comes back to me. And I really believe that. I believe that it's a vibration. It goes out and it comes in. And the more that I can do that just for the pure fact of doing it, the better. And then because I put what I receive what I put into the world coming back to me is like, yeah, sure, I'll receive that. Thank you, because I know that the intention behind the action was good. It was pure, and it was thoughtful or heart based or whatever the experience I'm having. So I know it comes from a good place, and if I can receive that and that or better, why would I not sign up for the belief in karma? Why would I not do that? Sounds like a win-win situation.
Well, I think it may definitely be easier to sign up for the karma when you're actively working on keeping it at a higher, well, we use the word higher, but we're keeping it at what you would want to receive. So let's send out what you would like to get back. Now, if we've been, I know I in my life, and many of us have been through those times where we seem to be getting this negative sort of growth, but it's a growth period to say, wow, this is not what I want to keep maintaining. What do I need to learn from this situation? Why is this coming to me? Why am I struggling, or whatever that looks like? And then being able to be growth oriented. That was another thing. That's another thing associated with karma. It says that we're given things to learn and grow from, because the universe likes dynamism. It likes change. It likes action, and being able to, we're one point, each of us individually are one point of perception, and we're perceiving the consciousness field, the ulta consciousness in our one point of perception. And so we are each this aspect within the universe having an opportunity for change or growth of perspective. And that's where this karma in many circles is meant action. So we are here in physical form to act, and through our acting, learn and grow from, or simply have an experience.
Right.
And it's there. I don't remember exactly which one, but I do remember that karma is often described as action. And it means that this is what our doing creates an energy force. And from that, there's these experiences that we have.
Yeah. So what do you believe, or how do you feel about past life, or even future life, or even simultaneous
Multiverses?
Yes. What do you believe in that regards when it comes to karma? Do you feel like in this human experience that you're currently having, that you're cleaning up karma from one of those other places? Or even experiencing karma, I should say?
Yes. So I'm going to answer that question this way. So in my learnings from Buddhist teachings, they talked about sankharas, and they would talk about the body sensations that we have in our body are called sankharas, and they're energies within our bodies, like pain. If you're sitting in a meditative pose and your body is having twitches and little things, that's energy being released from your energy field. So along with that teaching that says that our energy field will carry dense pockets within it from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. So from that, my understanding is that the energy gets released in the physical form. When we're physically in the form, it's our opportunity to let go of all things dense and difficult and denser vibrations. And that's where things like forgiveness comes to let go of things. So it's from that teaching that said the energy field will carry these pockets of dense things that we hold on to, that we attachments. And so that's my take on lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Whether it's something that we did that created a density when we mistreated another one or did some action that had a denser vibration that was in our energy field, or it's something that we overly identified with and we just kept keeping with us, so we didn't forgive or let go of that someone did to us. And so that's my take on it. That this all, and there's it's a little bit of what I don't know if we talked about this last week, but the part that says it's everywhere all at once, that it's all happening in the ever present now. So of course, every lifetime is now. So then I guess it would be.
Yeah. Chanel, our amazing, beautiful producer, will you pop up Charles' comment for us one more time? Natalie, have a chance to read that. Charles always has some nuggets too. Natalie's not the only one with nuggets. So for those of you who can't see the screen, I think it has more to do with coherency. Different acts need different energies, frequencies. We control the focus, coherency. We can project a flash or a laser beam with the same amount of energy.
Oh, yeah. It's like a spotlight or
Very
a
good.
laser beam.
Thank you, Charles. Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's a good way to look at it. I dig it.
Appreciate all the different perspectives that we can have through these conversations.
Absolutely. I really love our listener engagement. It's so good. Have you heard of I don't quote me, 15 spiritual laws of karma? Or something
Maybe
along those lines.
I've probably heard parts of them. Tell me more, if you have more. 15 spiritual laws.
Or maybe it's 12. 15, 12. I've seen both. 12. I'm seeing 12. So I'm seeing both. Yeah, I'm just on Google. So I wasn't familiar with this at all. And, we can talk about karma for an hour for sure, because there's a lot to talk about with karma. And also, every topic that we have each week, I like to learn more because I don't know everything. I like to hear your perspective, our listeners' perspective. I like to go deep dive into my own investigations,
Yes, you do.
and as I do, the nights that I stay awake. So yeah, I wasn't even aware of the laws of karma. That was very new to me, and anyone can go and Google them or whatever search engine you use, but they are there, and they're, everyone has a little take on it, but they're pretty much similar to each other. But they have the law of cause and effect, the law of creation, the law of humility, the law of growth, the law of responsibility, the law of connection, the law of force, the law of giving and hospitality, the law of here and now, the law of change, of patience and reward, of significance and inspiration. So those are 12. And I haven't taken enough time to really go into all of those and learn more about them, but it's on my now list of things to learn or research. And also there's a plethora of videos on YouTube about the laws of karma. Supposedly they'll change your life. That's what I read.
I know, it makes me laugh because you have this underlying sort of oh, they're going to change your life, or maybe, or that's
you're
the potential. Why do we care? So why do we care? That goes along the lines of what I was thinking. It's like, why would we care about, what benefit does knowing this stuff about karma give to us? Why is it important to even know about this?
Well, I think if you find that it's important and you decide to believe in the concept of karma, then I feel like it will direct you differently, like the law of cause and effect. I feel like people would be more intentional with their actions if they were to know that they'd have less cleanup if they were to do it right the first time.
I know personally in my life that, like you were mentioning earlier, it keeps me a bit in check. There's times where it's like I don't want to think in particular ways or overly exert in particular ways, because it's like I don't want that coming back to me. If this happens to be true, then I don't want that reflected back to me. I don't want the world to kick that back to me.
I agree. So just living on that what if, we are choosing to live our lives a little more clean. And you know what? Everyone's having on KGRA all these like Halloween shows and pre-Halloween shows. And we normally will have a Halloween show. And this year I thought karma was scary enough. Let's talk about karma. That's terrifying. Right? And so I don't want that. I don't want that in my life, or if it so happens to be true in the next life or the next existence. Um, and just believing that alone does make me consciously aware of, I would say, a majority, if not all, of my choices. But also, I don't live in fear. And so, like there's this fine line where you can be karma. I'm afraid of karma, so I'm going to do the right thing. And you do the right thing just because you're afraid of what will happen to you, instead of just doing the right thing because it's the right thing.
Right. So then energy doesn't really lie. So if you do,
All
or you're taking
intentional.
action based on fear, the underlying energies in your action will be infused with fear. And we can't, it doesn't lie. I mean, whatever we're sending out energetically contains what's inside us.
Definitely.
I often encounter people when in my interactions with people, they'll say, I didn't say that out loud. I said, your energy said
Everything.
yes. Yes, you did say that out loud, but not by your voice.
It's true. And if they're like me, where I speak with my face without actually using words, I know sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, look away, because my face will say it all. Like, I'm sorry, what?
No poker face
So
there.
even my face has to worry about. Well,
Yeah,
my face has a mind of its own. Okay.
There was a comment there about fixed destiny.
Yeah. So Charles said some people think of karma as if it were destiny fixed and not just it is what it is.
So we want to talk a little bit. I'm going to just bring in some threads of human design, because there are some human design where there are particular people who have transpersonal karma. And so their karma, what they're living out, will be lived out with the assistance, the help, or through other people moving them along their pathway. So this transpersonal karma, and it does say specifically karma, that their actions are they're here to affect and interact with transpersonal, so beyond just themselves. They're not here able to live out their karma just by themselves. They're not meant to be an island. They're interacting with other people. Now, in my working with people, I find people with transpersonal karma, the level of frequency or consciousness of the people that they surround themselves with will have a direct impact on their karma or their life, how much they can reach their potential. And so there's aspects where it may just not be your actions, but it could be more than you. And there's also, in very layman's terms, where there are these lines of thinking that say you are most affected by the 5 people that you surround yourself with on the most regular basis. Because we're not designed to be islands. So as humans, our auras are highly affected by who and conditioned by who we surround ourselves with. So be mindful. There's times where the energy of the people that you're around is always going to affect you one way or the other. And if you don't have this ability to pull everyone up, like contagions can go both ways. It can be contagious to be pulled down into a more dense, lower vibration, and higher vibrations can bring people up. And but be careful with who you surround yourself with from those lines of thinking, because those entanglements are real throughout our lives. And the energies of others, I would put out there to say, what kind of a contagion are you in your life? What are you contagious? What contagion are you putting out there?
I hope I'm a burst of sleep and sunshine. Honestly. That's what kind of contagion I want to be. An authentic one.
Sleep and sunshine.
Yeah, I cannot say the word I wanted to say.
Most of the time it is, but sometimes we all have a little bit of like not as bright and shiny. It's just like the sun gets covered with clouds some days, but most of the time
definitely.
Yeah.
And that's where you get to be the ray of sunshine, because then you will move my clouds away.
That's right. I'll come in and
no pressure.
It'd be like, okay, let me just give you a little bit of positive vibes.
Right. But I do like what you are saying as far as, I mean, I've heard that you are most like the people you surround yourself with, right? So if you want to be successful, you're going to have successful friends. And if you want to be this, you want to have those kinds of friends. I really believe that to be true. I've had that experience in my own life. And I have a really great posse around me right now that's really supportive and really good for my soul. And I think about the times where I didn't have that and the different person that I was, the different, even the different personality that I had. And I really, really believe that wholeheartedly, that it's so important to surround yourself with people like-minded or who you even strive to want to be like.
I definitely agree. So there's choices that get made all along the way. In this conversation about holding a certain level of vibration or holding a level of contagion or your particular actions. So action, I was just doing some spiritual laws. There's this in another forum, there is the spiritual law, the law of action, that said a concept like we're talking conceptually. It won't be understood until it's put into action by each one of us. And as through that action, the understanding comes, and through that action, the tuning, the fine tuning happens. So, in what you were just talking about, those periods in your life, you had to go along and act differently. And that just by its very nature changed the people that you were around.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there were some decisions along the way, but it was through your action where you moved away from the people that you interacted with then towards the people that you interact with now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for everybody's life. It is through our actions that our world literally is formed.
Mm-hmm.
Our thoughts put into actions that form our future and our next state and our next step, because as we were talking about last week, it's an illusion of separation. There's this illusion, but we create the illusion through our perception, and through our actions creates the next steps in our lives as we go forward.
Mm. Yeah.
And so it means that if you don't like the way that your life is unfolding, it is very possible that when you change the way you look at things, those things change.
Mm.
And it's through a myriad of things. If you don't like what's happening, study something else and walk a little bit different.
Mm. I'm like, yes, girl. Preach. I am feeling it today. Can you tell? I'm like, yes.
So,
I agree. I agree with that so much. I really do. And it's crazy that we're talking about karma and that's what gets brought up, but it's the same thing. It really resonates with me. I love this.
right. This really tunes a lot into the law of attraction.
Mm.
And if I can just emphasize this, I know I've mentioned it tonight, but I feel so passionate about these things because I work diligently with people to change their lives. When people come to see me, various reasons they come to see me, a lot of times for grief, but a lot of times because they're just like, wow, I just want to tune my life so it's working out differently than it is working now. I just met with my client today, and she said, my shoulder is literally freezing up because of the stress and the strain in this job that she took on. And she's like, what do I do? What do I do? And it's like, that's a good question. Well, this kind of, we examine it and look at these types of things. And so law of attraction says, I want to have my life be a particular way. So we have this image inside of ourselves that said, I want something. A lot of times people want money. But then a lot of times people just want quality of life or a job that feels creative and satisfying, those types of things. So as you're going towards that, if you are not carrying thoughts that are at that particular state of being, then you can't get to that state of being until you drop the thoughts that aren't that.
Mm.
So this is the part that says karma that said,
Mm-hmm.
if you want different, you have to drop what isn't where you're going and you let it go. And we've talked about lots of different ways to do that in the show. But literally, if you don't take any action on those things and all you do is listen in, it's lovely. Listen, I do it too. I like to listen to people that inspire me, and it's fun to listen through when people talk. But if I don't take any action in my own personal life, nothing can shift except for my thought processes. And we're not our thoughts.
Mm.
Thoughts are thoughts. Action is the karmic, literal effect that's happening in our life. So if we have this, now thoughts do influence our actions. So cleaning up the thought process does then lead towards the action because it's all this cyclical. It's all one, all this energy filled. So as we clean up our thoughts, we cannot hold a life. Let's say, we'll do a simple example that said, okay, so if you were given $10,000 to solve your problems, and someone just gave you $10,000 and they said, here's $10,000. What you do with the money And the decisions you make from that $10,000 or $50,000 is what's going to, if you aren't used to holding $50,000 and managing that much money, then it'll be gone before you know it, and you won't really affect your life in the ways that you. So it's like, if only I had $50,000, then it would solve all my problems. If you aren't capable at a level of responsibility of managing this $50,000 life, if you have $50,000 in your bank account and you don't know how to handle that level of money, that's an example. It's like that in so many ways. So you have to work towards being able to manage the frequency that you're going towards. Otherwise, you slip back into the frequency habits that we all have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope that that's clear.
It's clear to me, and thank you for the reminders. I love the direction that you took this.
Really? Karma is action.
Yes, karma is the action. And when I look at the show and all of the good stuff that we talk about, I like to look at it like that too. Like it's a ripple effect, right? If it affects you, if what we're doing gets to you in this beautiful, profound, positive way, like you're going to take that and then you're going to carry it on. It's like a ripple effect, like I said. And I look at karma in that way. Like it's not just about me and the people around me that it affects in a negative way. Like there's both sides to it. And yeah, there's negative karma. I don't focus on that. I'm like, how can I have that ripple effect? How can I affect Natalie where Natalie goes and affects somebody else and that person goes and affects someone else? It's just like when you see people who like pay it forward. You ever go to the coffee drive-through and someone's like, oh, the person in front of you just paid for your coffee. And you're like, oh, awesome. I'll pay for the person behind me, and it just carries on until someone doesn't have enough money to pay for the person behind them.
They just receive, and that's
they
that
receive,
circle.
and that's still a beautiful thing, right? Because how many of us have a challenge receiving? And that I would consider as karma too. Like what happened? What happened in your life to have the experience that you're not worthy enough to receive? And I've had my own struggles and issues with receiving. I'm learning, like in my life right now, I've been humbled, and I've learned that the repercussions of receiving have very little to do with me even, and more to do with the person giving. And I love that. I want that for them. I want that for us. And so I like the way that works energetically. It feels good.
Indeed.
So we chose karma. There's, Natalie, I have my trusty little AJ book over here. We have our topics picked out for, I'd say, the rest of the year. We're close. And we go off of the energy of what's taking place in the world. Mm-hmm. We chose karma tonight for, I think, because of, we had the illusion of separation last week, because there's a lot of separation going on, even like literally in our country right now. And then karma, because there's a lot of things getting brought to the surface and cleaned up. And next week with our topic, after everything is decided and hopefully not drawn out like it was in the years past, we'll be able to help others with that topic. There's a reason why we're choosing the topics. There's it's not just an energy, but you can see when you look out into the world, like what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of karmic clearing that is taking place right now. Would you agree?
I would agree that there is, it goes along with the age of Aquarius, which is the revealing. So an aspect of the Aquarius nature is that secrets revealed. So secrets revealed, secrets revealed. And as the secrets revealed, let's just say this. This is connected with a discussion on karma as well. That said, if I did something and I keep it secret, it's not really secret. It's there in the energy field, in the Akashic records. It's written down in the book of life. And just because it becomes known to the greater world around it, how do I deal with that? So as we're going through this time where things become more out in the open, and we're looking to people that may be there, like the more famous people that are out there in the public eye, how they respond to
Thanks.
the knowledge coming available to a wider audience is the karmic reaction that said, oh, well, there's this aspect, and the person has the opportunity at that moment to respond. And how they respond says something about any of us. How we respond to what life is asking from us, revealing to others about us. Nobody can blackmail you or gig you on something that you are able to say, yes, that actually happened. Yes, these things, or it is a little bit more convoluted in the public eye, but the reality is that we still watch. Those of us that are watching our public figures watch to see how they respond. How will they deal with this coming to light? And coming to light is healing for all of us, and we are definitely going through a period where we're uncovering secrets revealed, because things need to come out into the open to get healed.
Right.
But that makes a lot of people afraid.
Oh, yeah.
In other ways.
I think a lot of people are afraid right now.
Oh.
And in a way, like you just think of the human experience, like fear is alive and well. And the reasons why they are fearful are understandable.
Sure.
If you were to have the experience of fear, like I can understand why people are afraid. I don't like to live in that energy of fear, but I am human, and I have a lot of concern, and I am borderline afraid, right? Because of the energy that I'm just absorbing from everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
The truth of the matter for me is, like, I just believe everything has already played out, and I'm just watching it, be presented to us. And so nothing is in our control.
No.
And it's not even just what's going on in the world today. Like, in general, nothing is in our control. We have choices, we have consequences, we have all of that stuff. Yes, but at the end of the day, we know nothing, and we're in control of nothing. And that's not like that's not to like make anyone feel like, oh, well, what's the point? Why am I even bothering? Because it's so much bigger than that.
It's
But
true.
You still get to be human, so you still get to feel the things and still have the lessons and the experiences and the karma that go around all of that. Joe says, not to change the topic, but do either of you believe in witches? I am a witch, darling.
You should eat some of my food, because I can
Natalie's
whip
a
up some
kitchen
magic in the kitchen.
Yes, Joe, we believe in witches. Good ones and bad ones. Good ones and dark ones, I should say. There's no bad. It's all duality. It's all beautiful.
Right. The this is a world, correct, a world of duality. So
Yes.
both of those aspects. I have been using the language for myself. It's all written in the stars because this is quite,
I say that so much. It's already
it's
written in the stars.
written in the stars. I'm living it out. Um, there's been times in my life where the awareness of that I have no control over it. I definitely have learned how to just get and settled into that concept of really understanding that I'm on. And I used to use some language that said it's a moving sidewalk. I'm on my moving sidewalk, and my sidewalk is moving me in a general direction. And what I choose to do in any moment on that moving sidewalk, um, most of it is the attitude that I take or how how I observe it. So another point that I want to just mention is that when you learn how to be the observer of yourself having the experience, there is the space that's created between the stimuli and you. And so as you watch yourself having these experiences in these next days, and as we're going through this, that's a higher consciousness space to be. So you observe yourself having the experience, and then you watch yourself watching yourself. And it's such a beneficial thing to learn and grow within yourself. Because as you watch yourself going through the experience, even when you watch that you have anxiety, you can start to see the anxiety, and it becomes less your anxiety and its own sort of entity that's walking alongside with you. So anxiety, pain, fear, it pulls away from you a little bit. And that little bit of space is the space between the notes, or the space between things. It's the dark matter. It's, if we look through, like when they say, look, there's teeny tiny space in our atoms. Our atoms are not some solid thing. They're all these components and space. And so we can just start to tap into that. And it's in that space that gives us a little that breathing room, in the touching with the stars. It's all written in the stars. There's only one, each of us are just one point of this consciousness. So none of us are in charge of the whole thing. Nobody's in charge of the whole thing.
No. It's kind of exciting though that no one's in charge. And yet we're in charge, but we're not in charge. It's not confusing at all.
Nope.
This has been a fun topic. Thank you for sharing all your beautiful Natalie nuggets.
Oh,
They're
you're welcome.
so good. And our wanderers, thank you for interacting with us this evening. Your questions, your comments, and your support. We really appreciate it. If you are interested in watching the replay on video, make sure you guys go and visit kgradb.com. You can use the promo code Wanderer for 30% off of your annual or monthly membership. So take advantage of that. And until next time, we'll see you guys next week. We'll be here. Same time, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Good night, everyone, and happy Hallows Eve.
That's right. And have a good one.
Good night.